You're missing the target from there. You want bloody shooting. Oh, it's crap. Oh, it's bloody rubbish. It's rubbish.
But how do you react though when someone, you know, from your playing staff comes in and says, "Boss, I think you're doing this wrongly"?
Good. Well, I ask him which way he thinks it should be done. We get down to it, and then we talk about it for 20 minutes, and then we decide I was right.
Right, okay, mate. Awesome. Right, okay. So I'm LongHaired Yeti, as normal, and I don't change my name just because I'm on a different stream. That'd be really fucking stupid. So I've got with me the awesome. Some of you know him as Ola. Some of you know him as the Lee Gunner takeover, while Lee Gunner goes and siphons his maggot in the toilet. And others of you know him as, and this is where I like to see him, Reese! Oh, man, absolute legend to have you on here, mate. Introduce yourself, man.
Thank you very much, man. I'm Ola. People would have seen me on some of the Arsenal shows on YouTube, and I also run my own channel, the Fight Week Show. This is a channel that the name is in the, you know, is everything about what we do is in the title. Really, we talk to professional fighters, MMA fighters, UFC fighters, and stuff like that. But you know, really and truly, you know, I mean, I'm an Arsenal man at heart. I love my club, and Yeti has been a long time brother of us. We always talk in the comments, always talk in the chats and that. But here I am on your channel, got your invite, and I had to honor it, man. I had to honor it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, mate. Big time. I mean, it's like, you know, I probably pulled you away from your Tomiyasu altar. Which I apologise for, but you knew that
off with his head with the katana.
You knew that was going to come up at some point, because that's the chats that we always kind of had. First thing I'd like to ask you, mate, is how did you feel watching that on Saturday? If you did watch it.
I watched the match, and it didn't fill me. It didn't fill me with much enthusiasm, much belief, if you like. But then I don't want to get too carried away. It's only what, second or third friendly that we've had, and people lose friendlies all the time because of the reasons that the manager tried to what the manager's trying to get from big up Mama Flossie. Salute to you, Mama Flossie. Thank you for reaching out. It's just one of those matches you just think to yourself, like, what can I take from this? Nothing. Who can take something from this? Maybe the manager and the players, but it does nothing for the fans, because the fans went in thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna approach it like we would approach like a league match. But very much to our disappointment. A lot of fans were disappointed. Some didn't get too carried away with it. Some did. And the people that did were the ones that were probably expecting more out of the match than what the match gave them. I was definitely expecting to see maybe something better from Declan Rice, for example. He didn't pull up trees, nothing like that. But look, again, it's his first game with the boys, so I have to hold a realistic head on while still giving room for constructive criticism, if that makes sense.
The one thing I will say is I'm not surprised you didn't get nothing out of the match because you didn't do nothing basically.
Yeah,
I can understand that. And yeah, it is a friendly. The only thing that I would say about that is it's Man United against Arsenal.
Yeah,
you know, and you could see that Man United came out as if that was like a Premier League title winning game, and you guys just didn't. And I think the one thing that worried me a little bit was, yes, it's only a friendly, but one thing that worried me a little bit is I still didn't see a plan B from Arteta, because all of us could see that Man United kept trying to take it over the top and put it to your defensive eye line, and then try and pressure that eye line, which actually got them a goal eventually. And he just didn't seem to see it. I mean, I know it's, like I say, I know it's only a friendly, but that kind of thing matters. I think he should have sort of like pulled the defence back or something, or done something in that respect. What do you think of that? Because I thought that was really sort of weird.
I agree with you. I couldn't agree more. And you know, that system, that exact tactic you were talking about there. I mean, you've seen us on watch alongs so many times pulling our hair out. Like United do this to us all the time. It's not even like a new tactic, or it's something that they've just concocted. You know, United knows how to beat us. They know how to beat Arsenal. They've been doing it for years. You know, especially when we play at their ground, and they use that same tactics every time. Over the top, send it over the top. We leave so much spacing behind anyways, because we always play a high line. So because when we play a high line like that, United is one of the worst teams to play a high line against, because they're always looking to soak up the pressure, suck you in, and then put the ball over the top and catch you out. And when they got clinical forwards like they have people like Bruno, people like Rashford, all right, Sancho hasn't really been prolific for them over the last course of the season, but they're looking at a new Sancho.
He played well, didn't he? He played well, he did, Sancho. And that young lad as well, that Overminer, I keep getting his name wrong. But I won't do it eventually, because I think he'll be a baller, because he looks really good. But, you know, I mean, people are saying that he owned Rice and all this kind of stuff. I'm just a little bit disappointed with the way that like I say, I know it's only a friendly, but it's like, for instance, us playing a friendly against Derby.
Yeah.
We're going in, mate. We're going in, and they're going in. It's not going to be. There's no friendliness there at all.
It definitely shouldn't have been taken like that by the Arsenal team or the Arsenal squad themselves. They went to approach it like it's a friendly. United didn't come with that mindset at all, and you can see why United didn't come with that mindset, because everybody that watched Ten Hag's press conference, he made it clear that this ain't a friendly. I ain't coming to play with you, man. You know, it was clear. It was quite clear. It was quite upfront with it. It let everybody know that, you know, we're taking this very, very seriously, and we're going to try and go out there and try and win this game. And that's exactly what they came to do. You know, it wasn't for points, but if we're looking at the way we play against them, and we got the cutting razor in a matter of 8 to 10 days. You know, the league starts on the 12th of August. The week before that, which is sometime in and around next week, or just the week after, we got the Community Shield against Manchester City. So really and truly, I know we're saying friendly now, but we need to get our acts together, because
definitely.
that game in Wembley, I want to win that game. I want to take it to City. I want us to really take it seriously, and I want to win that game.
Yeah, of course you do. I mean, the thing is, it's like we're fans, so we always want to win. I mean, it don't matter if it's a friendly or what it is. You always want to win. I mean, it's like when I play Football Manager. And every friendly, I'm just saying to the team, go out there and do everything you can and make sure you do it. And if they play like, say, I mean, to be honest, the way you started, I didn't think was too bad. But then it reminded me a hell of a lot of our game at the end of last season.
Mm.
It was like, you know, when I said to you guys, I don't know if it was you, but I think it was TJ when I did the preview, and I said the way it's going to go again with us is we're going to get straight into you, and we're going to give you a game that you're not there for, you're not up for. And I think Man United did exactly the same thing, and there was physical, and I enjoyed it. I must admit, I did enjoy it. Not watching you guys lose because, as you know, I love Arsenal fans. You guys, anyway, not the
Yeah.
three.
Thank you.
But you know, I mean, and I was just sort of watching, and all I saw was you were just passing it around outside their box, which is exactly the same as what you did against us.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you've got a team who's being really fucking aggressive, you take a chance to get into the box because they're going to do something silly and give you a penalty. And the one thing that impressed me the most was when he changed all the players, all the others that came on were drilled as well. You could see it completely drilled it into, you know, like normally they change the players and then all of a sudden Arsenal get on top and it changes because it's a friendly. You could see it drilled everybody. You go out there and you play for that shirt. You know, if you don't, you won't be in it. And you could see it, Maguire's body and Odegaard and, you know, I mean, it was just, I mean, I ain't seen a performance like that from United for a long time, even though it was a friendly.
Yeah.
Just the old, you could see he had everybody's mind. You know what I mean? Every single Man United player, he had everybody's mind, and they was all intent on a job to sort you guys out.
I mean, you could, yeah, sorry to cut you there. You could see the way they completely overran our midfield. I mean, our midfield was, I mean, putting a midfield of Rice, Havertz, and Partey together. These guys had never played before, and you could see the cohesiveness of Manchester United. They look like a team that really know what they're doing, and they had that continuity in there. We look like really a team that's literally just been put together. And you know, the caveat again. Yeah, sorry, say that again.
What are you doing in training then?
Yeah,
I think that's where you're supposed. You know what I mean? Where you get used to playing with each other and stuff like that.
Good question, because you know, it's difficult to tell because of the way Arteta is, and you know he's going to play these players, and he still has his favorites. When the time comes, he's probably going to go back to type and go back to the players that he feels like he trusts. And I don't know where Havertz is going to fall into in that category when it's all said and done, because Arteta is the sort of manager that he'll see something, even if it's not working. And we saw it towards the back of the last season, which I still attribute us losing the league. A good portion, a good percentage of that I'm attributing to Arteta, because there were certain times that certain players are already lost form. They weren't really putting it in no more. Legs were tired, and they were making bad decisions on the pitch. But the manager went doing nothing about it early enough. In games, the in-game management was so poor to allow Partey to carry on playing, to leave on holding when Saliba got injured, when you just spent 20 million on a defender and you don't play him in Kivia. We got Leandro Trossard that got player of the month in March. He didn't get a single start in April. April was where we really fucked up, losing to Southampton, dropping all them points to Liverpool, dropping them points to West Ham. But you didn't play Trossard throughout them games, and he's one of our biggest talisman going into that month. So these are decisions that the manager has to take responsibility of. He's definitely got to shoulder that. My dog's going crazy. Give me 1 second. I'll be back.
No worries.
Let me just sort my dog out. 1 second.
No worries, buddy. Yeah, so I mean, it's like, to me, it just, like I say, it's a friendly, but it'd be interesting to know if your missus is had a load of bragging rights on it. I'll have to ask him that when he comes back. As your
yeah, sorry about that.
Is your missus took bragging rights from it?
Yeah. That wasn't fun. That wasn't fun.
It's only friendly. She's like, I don't care if it's friendly or not. We want.
Oh, you. But well done for that one. Well done for you. Got me there, man. You got me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's bragging rights to her. 1-0 to them. Bragging rights. Yeah, she's loving life right now. Even though how petty I got, I had to go and use the Wrexham loss that they lost to. They lost the rest. Even though it's
early doors.
Yeah, but salute to early doors, man. Even though it's like the under 21s or something I heard played. The senior players didn't play because they're going to be playing Real Madrid at some point tonight. So, but the fact that they lost to Wrexham, anyways, I had to get that one in there, man. Like, bro, but bragging right, definitely bragging rights to them 1-0 because a lot of Arsenal fans going into this game, they were thinking the most, and we got brought down to earth very, very quickly.
Well, exactly. This is how it goes, isn't it? I mean, to me, it's exactly the same as a cup game. It's like beforehand, it's like, I mean, I've seen Tottenham doing it, but Tottenham always do it. But they're going, oh, we're going to beat these 4-1, we're going to beat these 7-1, and all this, that, and the other. And then as soon as the final whistle goes and you've lost, it's like, it's only a friendly. Don't matter. It's like, well, where's the energy that you had before the game started? Because, I mean, we're playing Leeds tomorrow. We got a friendly with Leeds tomorrow, which I'm doing and watching on for. And I want to beat Leeds. In fact, I want to beat everybody that we play, to be honest. Yeah. And there's just no thingy to that. I don't care whether it's a friendly. I don't care if it's two people having a kick about. When I was younger, if it was me and my bro or some guys that were having a kick about, I'd still kick fucking lumps out of them to win. You know what I mean? Because you just want to win, don't you? So, that's kind of the way I look at it. But, maybe Arteta was doing giving Man United a false sense of security and everybody else a false sense of security. So everybody's thinking, we could beat Arsenal, no problem. Because most people would have looked at that and gone, well, all you've got to do is get a baton in the first, 20 minutes. And then, you're going to have a chance. But not that I'm going to be daft enough to say, the end of last season, I knew we'd win that game. I've been saying it all season. I said it in the chat a few times. You saw it, and you was going, nah, they're going to win all this time. And that was fire going down.
That blew up in my face big time, didn't it?
So, but this first one, you're going to make a statement.
Yeah, I mean, this.
I'm not going to say I'm not worried about that because I
am. This first one definitely. You know what? I have to say, congratulations to you lot as well for securing
big up, man.
Your place in the Premier League, and I believe even on the day when we played you, I did congratulate you. As much as I was hating, and it was hurting deep down because it's just something that Arsenal does. You know what I mean? And it's almost like we thought to ourselves, how can we even do it in a bigger way? How can we make a grandiose gift, Santa Claus moment? How can we make a big one? Why don't we save Nottingham Forest from relegation and give the league to Man City in the same game? Why not? Well, and that's exactly what we did.
You're just a generous club, mate. You really are. I mean, it's like, Man City lovers now because at the end of the day, we kind of made sure they got the title. But at the same point, we tried to help you guys out as well when you needed to pin Man City back. Yeah. And we managed to get that draw.
Although that's why no one can hit on Forest. That's why no one can hit on Forest. You lot took points off for them,
Exactly.
And you're one of the very few teams in the league that actually did that. So respect to Nottingham Forest for that. Yeah, I mean, I've always said, I mean, I've not made no secret of it. How much I like your manager. I think your manager's brilliant. I think your manager, the way he approaches the team, and his skill set is so good in terms of managing these young players and bringing the players that a lot of the players that he brought from the championship. And I know you guys spent quite a bit of money, but the core of your team,
$1 million, I think.
There you go. But the core,
not quite.
the core of your team, is quite. It's strong in terms of the people, the team that the players that you brought out. We'll let the dogs out. Well, yeah, my dogs, but it's not win though. It's not win. Just so you know, but it's not win.
Man United, no, sorry, Man United put them down.
Yeah, I think Nottingham Forest are going to do well this season. I think they're going to surprise a lot of players, a lot of clubs. The one thing that I like about the way your manager plays, he doesn't compromise when it comes to hard work and really putting down his marker and letting the players know exactly how he wants to play. You've got a fantastic striker in Tawa Awoniyi. The countryman has scored that goal against us.
Yeah.
He scored quite a few goals for you guys as well. And one of the other guys that I was really impressed with, although very, very selfish at times, but you need a player like that in your team all the time, is Gibbs White. Gibbs White.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, fantastic. He's a threat. Mate. He's always a threat to defenders.
He just never stops. And that is, you know what? That is the kind of player I like. I love players that just get on the pitch and earn that shirt. It's like when someone signs and like we've got Alanga and Ola Aina and all that. And the thing is, we pick up players that nobody else has bothered about, like like the Danilos and stuff. And he's just looking better and better. But it's like I'm not interested in their interviews when they sign. I couldn't give two fucks, to be honest. You can turn around and go, "Oh, I love Forest. Oh, the one European Cup." Yeah, we already know that, mate. You don't have to tell us that. And I've always wanted to sign for this club and this, that, and the other. Well, if that was the case, you'd have been here sooner. But I just ain't got time for that bollocks, to be honest with you. You show what you can do in the shirt. That's all I'm interested in. That's when I'll judge you. And that's like with Havertz the other day. I mean, what do you see? What do you see with him? Do you think that's going to work?
Yes, and I say this because when you look at the teams that's just been promoted into the Premier League as well, my thoughts is you have a better manager than those teams that just came up. So that's already setting you in good stead.
Yeah.
Will he get the backing? I mean, you brought in experienced players like John Shelby, like Kouyaté, and these are experienced guys that sometimes when the game is getting away from you, they can always rein in all the young boys and
Kouyaté, not John Shelby. I mean, he cost us 2 goals with absolute stupidness. I mean, there's that one against Everton where, I don't care. You just ain't got a brain if you do that. You're in the box and you just stick your foot out. I mean, it's just stupid. And then that other one where he just he's in the box and the ball goes to him and he just passes it to a Villa player. I mean, come on, you rose-headed, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, these things are some of the most. Those things you mentioned there, I know you see me say all the time. Unforced errors is probably one of my bad. You know what I mean? Like it's my pet peeve when it comes to football. Playing football and you're just giving the ball away for no reason, or putting it out of play when there's so many options around you for no reason. To me, that's just crazy. For professional footballer, You know, most of them are on 6 figures. You know, 5 figures at the very minimum. But most of these players are on 6 figures. There's no reason to be giving away unforced passes multiple times in a game. I know, you know, it's one thing to be press resistant, and I understand that. But at the same time, your 5-yard passes, your 10-yard passes, there shouldn't be no mistakes there. I mean, if you try and like a risky pass, 70 feet diagonal pass, and it doesn't go through, you can say, okay, you know, maybe you're doing a 50, you know, 50 yards through pass over the top, and it doesn't go to the man. You say, okay. But 5-yard pass, 10-yard passes, like, you're a professional footballer, you know what I mean? Like, you just expect that little bit more from them, don't you?
I agree with what you're saying, but I think I actually sometimes I see defenders trying to do stupidness, where it's like when the ball went to Gabriel Magalhaes the other day, and he tried to sort of control it. See, that to me is where you just oof it out.
Yeah.
Take away the danger. You know, it's in the middle of the pitch. There's no danger.
Defender first at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's proper old school defending. Put in Z. If in doubt, put in the next street. You know what I mean?
Have you noticed nowadays that you see so many goals because they don't do that? Yes. And they try and, where's my goalie? And then they pass it back and the goal is there. So it just goes straight in the goal. It's like, just boot the damn thing out. That's how defending used to be done. You don't have to be like the most technical sort of defender and being you don't want to see your goalkeeper trying to dribble around a striker. Because if that striker manages to get a touch on the ball, that's it. It's in the goal. So, and it's same with defenders. If you start doing that when you're on the back line and you lose the ball, you're fucked.
I mean, the days of seeing like defenders like Tony Adams and those type of guys, you know, people like
Moisa.
Yeah.
Exactly, I'll defend from the front, kick it into Rosehead, just get rid.
Them days are gone. Them days are gone because every manager wants a ball playing centre back, ball playing defender. Like ball playing, play the ball in Rosehead. You're still playing the ball. You know what I mean? Just put it out of danger, get rid of it, and that's your number one job. That's your primary job. Then everything else is a bonus. As far as I'm concerned,
I don't get that because it's like when a striker's trying to like get through a defence, he can get the ball took off him, he can get tackled or anything like that. So to me, I'd always look at a defender if he's going to try and do things like that. With a defender, there's only him there. So if he messes it up like Magalhaes, then basically Sancho's straight in. And I still think he could have done better with Sancho. I would have bought the guy down, to be honest, or just kicked him or something. You know, instead of letting him run straight into the box. Yeah, you'd have got a yellow card for it or whatever, but, you know, you wouldn't have lost the goal. So,
yeah.
That's the way I would have done
it. I completely agree with you. It's just one of them things that maybe managers have to go back to. You know what I mean? It's something that they have to think about and go back to. But then the introduction of VAR, the introduction of VAR. Yeah, I just saying it. That's why we have Holding. I see what you're saying. I mean, Holding. I don't want to hold that guy no more. You know what I mean? I want Holding. I want Holding to stop holding on. You know, he
can't hold anything, can he?
You know, he needs to stop holding on, man, and leave the club.
You know what? He's got a perfect name though. He's got Rob Holding. He can't hold anything, and he gets robbed all the time. It's like a perfect name. Big up Arsenal history and more.
Yeah, man. Salute to you, Jez. Big up yourself.
I said Arsenal forever. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, man. Holding is definitely one that needs, that we definitely got to get rid of in this window, and I don't think the manager's going to do it. It's happening. It's happy. It's happy being being the bucket boy handing out the fucking slices of oranges to the lads in the fucking dressing room. He's happy doing that, picking up a check.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Lingard was for us.
Yeah, say that again.
Apparently Lingard was like amazing in the dressing room, and he was the reason we stayed up and stuff like that. So he's like a company clown who just like juggles at half time to keep everybody entertained and stuff like that. You know what? If you want to pay me the kind of wages he was getting to stand in the dressing room and just make everybody laugh at half time, I'm more than up for that job, mate.
Easy peasy, right? easy peasy, and that's the thing. People go, look. This is a football club, you know. And when you think about it, you're not a charity case. You're not there to bring clowns and comedians into the fucking football club. You want to win games. You need warriors out there that will go out on a match day and fight for the shirt and fight for the fans before they even fight for themselves. That's always my belief. You fight for the shirt, you fight for the fans, then you fight for yourselves. You know?
Yeah, that to me is a prime requisite of every player we have. I mean, and going back on to Cooper, I mean, I said this on a Forest channel ages ago, when we was in the championship and last year, and I said that I can see fingers of Clough in that guy. And they all said, "Oh no, you jump in the gun, you know, you can't think and like that and all this, that, and the other." But I do see it because he has a different style of Clough, whereas Clough would just turn around and say, "You done that wrong, you fucking prick. Go and sit down for 5 minutes and think about what you've done, and put a dunce hat on and stand in the corner." Whereas Cooper's like, you know, that weren't the right way of doing it, but let's work through it and find the right way of doing it. And I can see him. I mean, I'm not saying like European Cups and stuff. I mean, well, we've got two. You ain't got any, so we can. We're all good with that one. And you know, the fact we've got 2 European Cups, like I said to Jez the other day, that gives me bragging rights over you guys. Because I ain't got no more bragging rights over you. You know, if it weren't for that, I'd just be coming up and you'd be going, "Oh, what you done?" I'd be like, "Fuck all."
Yeah, you definitely have that over us in terms of your history and you know your European exploits. You definitely have that over us 100%. And I remember taking my son to I think it might have been a Carling Cup game that we played against you lot. This was a few years back, and I'm sure we lost that game. And all your fans, even if your team lose or draw, as long as they've had
absolute spot.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. That's it. It's all you ask of your players. It's all you ever ask for. You know, as a fan, you want them to make sure that you want them to be fit to be wearing the shirt. You want them to be fit for playing for the club and representing the fans, because all them away fans that travel up and down the country to go and watch them, it's not a joke thing. It's not a joke thing when these guys that they give up, they sacrifice a lot to make these matches when they travel all them European nights. They sacrifice a lot. Give up time away from work just to go, to go and watch these games and support the team. So the team definitely, sometimes, especially when they've had a bad performance and they just walk straight into the tunnel on the away game. Are you fucking joking me? On the away game, you've had a bad performance and you walk straight down the fucking tunnel. You don't go fucking see the fans. Like, to me, every manager should make that a benchmark. Like, you go and see the fans first. You go. Ozil used to do that craziness, man. He used to wind me the fuck up. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, who are you?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So these are things that definitely used to boil my piece. And I want to see a lot more clubs, not just my club, but across the Premier League, go and show some appreciation to your fans, home and away, especially away fans. Home fans, but the away fans, man. You definitely got you got to give them their plaudits.
I mean, one thing I was impressed with, and I only found out about it yesterday because I was watching that prick Egal. But he weren't him that said it because he didn't know nothing, because he don't really know nothing about Arsenal anyway. You know, but that is, as soon as the game finished against Man United, he pulled all the team out afterwards and kept them on the pitch and kept them training. Apparently, so I was quite impressed with that because he obviously wasn't impressed with what he saw. Like I say, I think he could have done something to stop that kind of happening because. And I keep reading this thing about Party came on and it stopped all Man United's chances. It didn't. Man United weren't making any chances. Man United was managing the game and going with a 2-0. They're 2-0 up. Why they? I mean, there was making a few chances, but why they got to do that when they're 2-0 up? You just manage the game, don't you?
You just sit the game out, and they're really good at that too.
Season, when you was beating Liverpool, if you'd have just managed the game the same way Man United did, then I could have been talking to a title winner now.
Yeah, who knows what could have happened, and you're right about that. Our game management has definitely got to improve. Our in-game management. Oregon Guna, salute to you. Our in-game management definitely has to be on another level this season. I mean, some of the ways that we just considered goals, and it wasn't just the goals we considered, it's how easy we made it for those. I mean, the Southampton one, the ball to Walcott, the goal that Walcott scored against, it was disgusting. It's so easy, the way 3 passes and they were in. The same thing with the Liverpool game. 2 passes and they were in. We were making these teams work for those goals, and these were the goals and the games that absolutely ended up costing us.
Yeah. I still think Xhaka changed that game. To be honest with you, I mean, sitting watching it, I think all Anfield was quiet, which you don't get very often, and then all of a sudden, as soon as he did that with Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
I mean, people keep saying, "Oh no, it had nothing to do with that," and all this, that, and the other. But come on, you can't grow a brain and have a bit of common sense. You could see it completely lit that place up as soon as he did that, and you could see Liverpool lit up as well. And all of a sudden, sort of like started balling. And you can't say that didn't have a difference, because it 100% did. If it didn't have a difference, why did they all of a sudden start playing from that point? Common sense at the end of the day. Hey, Jimmy, how are you doing, man?
It's not just common sense, like how you said. It's where it's taking place. Big up yourself, Jaminio. It's where it's taking place. You got to remember, this is Anfield, bruv. Anfield is giving Arteta sleepless nights where he's playing "You Never Walk Alone" in the training ground. You know what I mean? He's giving him PTSD. That's what I was trying to say, Yeti. So
come on, get yourself ready by listening to their anthem. I mean, I don't even understand that.
They're already under your skin. Your head rent free. And
it's like coming to players and playing Mulligan Tire. It only means something to us, and that's why we sing it.
Seriously, the one place that you could go to any ground in the country, and you probably more than likely get away with winding up one of their players, but not at Anfield. You don't go to Anfield and do that.
No.
It's one place you cannot go to.
If them
wind up the manager, wind up the fans, wind up their players, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble. You could be 4-0 up, they'll drag it back. And we see them do it in the Champions League night.
That is the key to Liverpool. If their fans are silent, you keep them silent.
You keep them silent.
Wind them up and you don't fucking get them going, because let's face it, I mean, when they get going and when they start singing and stuff, they're probably one of the best crowds in the league. I think we're there. I think Newcastle's definitely there. I don't know.
I'll put Palace up there as well. I've been up there. It's crazy, man. The way Palace fans, the way they move.
100% Palace. Yeah, 100%. I tell you what, We'll get off football. Yeah. First of all, I'll say that I would be aiming. See, I've got a show with TJ Warren that's a preview where I think he thinks I'm going to be giving it the, oh, yeah, we're going to beat you and all this idea. First of all, I'll ask you, how do you think the first game will go?
First game. Again, it all have to do with who we've brought in, the business we've done, the business you've done, come start of the season. But I'm really hoping for some kind of revenge. We already saved you, so you're not in no danger of relegation. Now go out there and spank that ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just grab that
Forest
Arsenal and spank that ass. That's all I want.
Is it? Because you smashed us 5-0 there, so how can it be revenge? I mean, you beat us 5-0 there. But then at the point of that, and I'll always keep saying this, at that point, we just had 11 people on the pitch.
Yeah.
We didn't. Yeah, I think personally, this is just my personal point of view. So don't fucking kick my arse in the chat. Well, do actually, because I love responding to that kind of shit anyway. But the thing is I personally think that we found our 11 and we found our team by the end of the season. And we were starting to look good, as in like a defensive team. You know, I don't like that kind of style, to be honest. I'm hoping, the one thing I want to see in that first game is I want to see us take the game to you. And I want to see it really give it good. And if you win 1 or 2-0 or something like that, or 7-0, like some of you say, you know, fair play. I mean, it's only the first game. And the big teams, you've got to expect to, you know, you're going to get a walloping, and you guys are going to be up for it. And the worst thing for us is that you lost to Man United, because it's only a friendly. And if you lose to Barcelona, and if you lose the next one, then you're going to come and kick our fucking arse.
I mean, you want us to keep winning leading up to that game. Maybe we're going to be a little bit more complacent, you know, leading up to that game there. But for me, I think we really need to make a statement, set the benchmark. But
you do.
I always say, I personally don't really start looking at the league table until we're 10 games in. Once we're 10 games in, it starts to shape up.
Do you look at it when you're 93% in and you're top of the league?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you bottle it.
Exactly. You know, so the first 10 games don't that is just more setting up the shape and seeing where everybody is. And once you've seen that, then you know you start to figuring out where you want to finish in the table, where you want to, exactly that. So we'll see. I definitely know it'll be an entertaining game, because you guys always play entertaining football. You know, you always turn up, and anything that takes you lightly, they end up getting a rude awakening. They get a smack in the mouth, and they realize that, oh shit, okay, we need to fix up, because
the only thing I would say,
to joke around.
The only thing I would say, which I'm a bit worried about, is that it's at the Emirates. If it was at the City Ground, then I would be like, we've got a real chance here. And I'm not stupid. I'm not fucking deluded like Ego or anybody like that. I keep calling that prick out because, it won't bother with me though, because I only have 41 subscribers. So I don't think I'm big enough, but, you know, I might go and meet him one day, see how he goes then. You know, I mean, the only thing I would say is like, I think personally, if we shut you down within the first 20 minutes, then you've got, Arteta's got to have that plan B, and that is the only chance I think we've got. And even if that happened, I think we're only looking at a draw. But if you score in the first 5-10 minutes, it's just going to be, well, I'll be swinging from the attic with a rope because I know it's done. You know what I mean? I know it's done because I'm not daft. I know if you guys start balling and start getting things together, it can be a hell of a long day.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're gonna do that to most teams this season. Depending on again who we bring in and how we set up, and if we ironed out all the mistakes that we made last season, because it's all about learning from the mistakes that we made last season and don't make those mistakes. And if we do as well as we did last season, learn from our mistakes, there's no reason why we can't challenge City again this season. So I'm definitely excited to see what the first game of the season brings. And you guys have won the lottery of playing against us for the first game of the season. So,
I mean, we love playing against European champions. Oh no, wait a minute.
Here we go again. We'll never hear the last of it, have we?
Yeah, they're coming, mate. And I think the main thing if you could get the mentality of seeing it through, I think you will take over for a good while. But with City, it's just but at the end of the day, I mean, last season you could have done it. It weren't down to them. It was down to you guys. Because the thing is, when City play you, they don't get in your face and start kicking you and all this, that, and the other for 20 minutes. They actually play around you. They're that good. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they sort of take your answers away in that respect. Most of the teams in the league ain't going to do that. They're basically going to try and kick the shit out of Saka, you know what I mean, and try and stop the players that's trying to make something happen. I think a lot of teams will go for Havertz as the weak link.
Yeah,
I 100% think that'll happen because he's never. I mean, no matter what you do with him, he's not going to be a defensive. You know, he's not going to.
It's still a signing that's baffling me. It's every time I think about we signed Havertz. We paid 65 million. I'm baffled every time I'm thinking about it, bro. I don't understand why we did it. I don't understand what the signing was for.
I get it. I just don't get the price. 65 million.
I mean, Mason Mount did look better than he did when he played against United. He looked more like, you know, he's more bedded up into the United squad than he has in our squad. So I don't know what his use is gonna be. I'm not looking for.
Can you do me a massive favor?
I hope he's able to prove me wrong, man. I hope they're able to prove me wrong. I really, really do.
Ola, can you do me a massive favor?
Yeah, please.
Can you do a Ola takeover of my channel? While I go inside from the maggot and get another beer.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
We go, guys. Ola takeover.
Yeah, Ola takeover happening right now, and let's get some bonding time going on up in here, man. Let's get some bonding time going on up in here. I see TJ Warren. Salute to you, TJ Warren. I already reached out to you earlier on. I'm gonna be seeing you real soon, brother. Early Does Football TV. Big up yourself. Mama Flossie, yes, Ola takeover right there. We're doing it again over here. And TJ says, yeah, like the button, hit that like button, smash it. Yeti, like Yeti smashes beers. What do we got over here? We got Early Does saying, relaxing at home and looking forward to your stream later. And Mama Flossie returning all the greetings that's going on in the chat. Salute to everybody that's watching us right now. Jaminio, I see you, Tayyib Hussein. People, what is everybody expecting from Arsenal this season? What are you expecting from? Are we winning the league? Are we challenging? Do you want to be winning cups? Because one thing that really pissed me off last season is how quick we were exiting all the cups that we were in. I could not believe how we were throwing away cup games, especially the Europa League Cup. I could not believe how serious we didn't take it. So it's one of the things that I'm looking forward to the change this season. I want to see us go deep in cups, and we definitely got a challenge again. It's minimum requirement for me this season. Go deep in the cups, challenge again.
Love it, man. Absolutely love it. Got an Ola takeover. So that's another thing off my bucket list that I wanted. So yeah, absolutely, man. And yeah, you've got to win something. I'll tell you what, though. I wanted to talk to you about UFC, obviously, because you run the UFC Best UFC channel, and I've sort of only just started watching. And I'll tell you the reason I've only just started watching is because I was always behind on the things, and it was like there was a UFC on, and I even avoided some of the watch along things because you could fucking guarantee that when I was in the chat, someone would go, "Oh, what do you think about Adesanya winning last night, Ola?" And I was like, "You bastard!" And it reminded me of like, this is a funny story.
Yeah.
I used to live in a bedsit, yeah, and a mate of mine was just a few doors down.
Right.
We was playing Derby County.
Mm-hmm.
So what my mate decided to do, because he didn't have Sky then actually, but what he decided to do was he decided to stay in his room all day with his headphones on, so he didn't hear the result, and he asked his brother if he could videotape it on a fucking VHS video, for fuck's sake. That shows how long it was. And so basically he sits in his room all day with his headphones on. Waits right till the game's finished and stuff like that. I never said anything because he asked me not to. So then all of a sudden he comes out, his brother turns up. He comes out of the room with his videotape, passes him the videotape. Next door neighbour walks out the door and goes, "Fucking 1-0 Forest! How the fucking hell could you lose 1-0 to Derby?" And my mate just went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Oh, it was fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah, man.
That's why I sort of didn't I did actually watch sometimes, but I just didn't sort of take it off because I couldn't. I'd have to have it on mute because I didn't want to hear what had gone on. But what do you think about the UFC? I mean, I absolutely fucking love it. I do. I fucking love it.
I have to start by saying, big up for following the sport because the sport it needs fans and it needs eyes on it, and it's a growing sport. It's a growing sport, and everybody that watches UFC from this part of the world, we also know what foreign football fans have to go through to watch football in this country. I'll answer that question in a little while. Bear with me. So talking about mixed martial arts and following it the way that we do is something that's really, really close to my heart. I'm like a fight nerd. I love the sport so much. And a lot of people that that's also said they never used to fuck.
Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, man, big up, man. Flossy, salute to you. A lot of people that said they used to they started watching the sport because of watching us talking about it, and now they're fully fledged fans and they watch it all the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy because it takes a lot of commitment to stay up until 3 o'clock, sometimes 7 o'clock in the morning, right from 1 o'clock at night all the way to 7 o'clock in the morning, just watching fights, which is something that I do every bloody weekend. That there's fights in and I'm following the sport.
Madness, mate.
But if you don't love the sport in the first place, you will follow it like that, and that's why I respect a lot of foreign fans, foreign football fans, that wake up, at all crazy times in the morning just to get up and watch football. I have to show them massive respect because I know exactly what it's like, And now talking about, you know, some of the stars in the sports, people like Conor McGregor, they've really put the sport on the map. People like Anderson Silva, you know, these are proper legends of the sport.
Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell, yeah.
Chuck Liddell was what actually got me into it in the first place.
Right.
I saw a lot of the thing between him and Tito Ortiz.
You know,
and I think I started watching then.
You're talking some big names there.
Knock people out like fuck. It was awesome.
Yeah, 100%. So to from where the sport was during the Chuck Liddell days to where it is now, again, sports science is showed so much and has evolved the sport so much from where it used to be and some of the rules that they used to have on before, because now you can't kick you can't knee a grounded opponent, which is part of the rules that could get you disqualified. They used to get away with that before. You know, some of the no-nos of eye gouging, you know, kicking the groin, all them sort of things. It still happens, but to a lesser degree now, because you know they get hard warnings for it and they get duck points. So there's a lot of things that's evolved in the game. Even the 12-6 elbow. You can't do 12-6 elbow. No, you know you got to go in from an angle. You can't just come straight down on a 12-6 elbow. So just those little subtle things. They've changed and they've brought the game to a place where you see better finishes. You see people getting submitted in a more cleaner way and a safer way as well. So very, very interesting sport. What's your overall take on where it's going now, especially with Dana involved?
I love it because at the end of the day, I used to watch boxing. I can't stand boxing now because they all just talk the shit before the fight and then they all just hug each other and try and make love to each other from the first minute, and I just can't be doing it. I mean, the one thing I like about UFC, I mean, another thing I'll say as well is Paul Craig. I mean, Munez, 100% headbutted in them. He took his head straight in. He did that on purpose. Yeah. And I was so glad that Paul Craig won that fight because if Munez won it, it wouldn't have been right because that was disgusting. He absolutely totally headbutted him. But the thing is, I love it because I know a lot of people say it's fake and all that kind of shit, but you get the same with wrestling and they say it's exactly the same in that respect. But when you get two people who's going, I fucking hate you, I can't stand you before the match, and then they both come together, and you get two of them come together and they both want it. You can't beat it. They're just hammering, they're such good fights, like Nathaniel Wood and is it Fiji?
Andre Fili.
Yeah, that fight was awesome. You could see they both wanted it. I love them kind of fights. And, and they seem to do that more I can't stand the fights where you can see they're going for points. I don't know if I would imagine you do.
Yeah,
this is probably a really stupid question, but I watched Contender Series and I watched the Ultimate Fighter, which I watched the one today, the newest one, because I get them on the streams afterwards.
Oh, right, okay.
But I mean, I don't want to rip it off in that respect, but at the end of the day, I can't afford it, so there's no way I can. But I mean, I love the idea of the Contender Series is quality. It's quality. Two guys go into an octagon and just make something of yourself. And I can't understand when you get two of them that go to try and win on points. It's like just go in there, batter the mother.
Because you only got one shot. You only got one shot at it.
Dana even. Just show Dana something. If you go in there and you go fucking ham and you just go for that guy, even if you lose, Dana will probably go, you know what, I saw some good stuff in that. And I don't see, that's why I love the Contender Series, because they just go there to take the guy out. And I love the sport, mate, and I think it should be a hell of a lot bigger.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's definitely going in that direction, and I'm glad you brought something up about boxing earlier on. If you look at the fight that they got this weekend in Errol Spence and Crawford, this is a fight that we should have seen long time ago. But because it's boxing and the politics that goes within boxing is delayed, really and truly, for me, it's the fans that's lost out. Because this is a fight they should have seen 2-3 times over. We should be seeing a trilogy now, not the first fight between Crawford and someone as good as Errol Spence. So and that's the thing with boxing. The best is not always fighting the best all the time. In this sport, number one, whoever is best to the next person that's best in whatever rankings, they're fighting each other. To take over, and they do this consistently, week in, week out, right?
And they pick them by how much they match as well, don't they? They pick them by how much they match and how much they. I mean, I don't know about you, but when you see like a really good stand-up fight, and then all of a sudden somebody takes somebody down. I mean, I don't mind the ground game. A lot of people don't like the ground game. But when it's like, who was it the other day? I can't remember who it was, but it was 2 fighters and they were both very technical. And you could see them both going for a submission and the other one.
That might have been Brandon Moreno and Pantoja. It was a title
fight. I think it was,
Yeah, the amount of reversals, the submission attempts. It was crazy. That's a good example you pulled out.
That was it. That was absolutely brilliant because it was exciting even for the people that want to see someone get knocked out. You could see one of them going for something and then the other one sort of getting away from it. And it was so technical. It was absolutely brilliant because you could see they were both totally sort of like knew exactly what they was doing and they've been doing what they love for years. And it's just brilliant. I mean, I come from the era of like watching Frank Bruno and Mike Tyson and all that kind of stuff. And the fights that I always remember and I always loved was Eubank against Brett. I used to love them fights. Absolutely love them. There was so good fights they was. They just hated each other. And I think they stopped the kind of hating each other after a bit because that guy got, I can't remember his name, Wilson, is it, or something? He got hit in the head and sort of fucked him up completely for life. So they kind of got away from that. But boxing over the years, like Tyson Fury fighting Ngannou.
Yeah, that's
I hope Ngannou knocked his head off, to be honest, because I don't like Tyson Fury anymore. I went off him, I'll be honest, I went off him when he fought Chisora. And then he said, I wanted to do this for my mate and all this, that and the other. And I'm like, you know what? If you want to do something for your mate, don't have all your fans fucking pay for it when it was never a nothing fight anyway. That to me is just disrespectful.
It's true. And that's the beauty of what's going on right now in this era, because when you look at people like Tyson Fury, as you mentioned earlier on, a lot of boxing fans aren't happy that he's given Ngannou the opportunity to fight him, because you do have a fighter like Usyk waiting in the wings and wanting to unify the belt, and you're not giving him that opportunity, but you want to go and fight. You want to go and fight people like Chisora that you've beaten 2-3 times already, and now you're fighting Francis Ngannou, and it's almost like taking the WC belt and just holding the hostage, and not trying to unify it, because you look at the landscape of boxing, they've tried to unify that belt so many. Even when AJ had the belt, and they tried to do it when Wilder had the belt, they tried to unify the WBC and the WBO and WBA together, but it just never happened because of the stables and the amount of politics that's involved in it. So these are all the things that we really gotta, fucking dickhead.
He's just cheering from Man United from Saturday. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, man.
Right, well, we've got one viewer, so make sure you hit the likes and hit the subscribes and all that kind of stuff. Just keep that. I'll tell you what, I noticed the other day, you know, if you keep signing out and then signing in on YouTube, you can keep hitting the likes and it keeps going up. I noticed it the other day.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I didn't know that worked, but it actually does. I got to make a move as I. Oh, okay, mate. Okay, I've just seen that. My bad. My bad, buddy. I didn't see that. You should have said to me. I didn't actually see that, mate. Just call out your channel. Call out your channel. We do all that bit.
Yeah. We've got the Fight Week Show on YouTube. So come check us out. Go subscribe to the channel. Go show us some love. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed before, the Fight Week Show on YouTube is where we're at. So come and check us out there. Follow us on Instagram as well. TFWS Official.
Get on there, man.
On Insta, go follow us on there. We're always posting stuff on there. So go show us some love on there as well. And we've got some good interviews. We've got some good content on there. We did an episode today with our boy CFCOG Naz. If you man know him, he's a real brother, and we do a lot of stuff on there, man. So go and check us out on there, man. That's what
awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, make sure you check out Ola, because there might not be many viewers, but there'll be people that view it afterwards. So make sure you check out Ola, because he's absolutely awesome. Say click to me, that would be awesome as well. It's been absolute pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Because we've had a lot of back to forth in the chat. I still haven't seen the samurai sword that you kept going on about. I thought I might see that in the stream, but obviously
Tomiyasu who? I don't know no more Tomiyasu. But tell me who.
At the end, I bet that's the name on the back of your shirt right now. But yeah, big up, man. One thing I did want to ask you just before you go is you interviewed the guy who does the refereeing, who is absolutely awesome. How did that go? I want to watch it actually. I'm going to watch it.
Oh yeah, that went really well, and it gave a lot of insights into the landscape of things out there in South Africa and over here in the UK with some of the fighters that we've got over here, man. So yeah, man, that was a really, really good one. We put a clip out where he was talking about Stylebender and Dricus du Plessis, because there's been like a race situation that's brewing between both of those guys.
I thought there was, with what he said when there was, when he beat Volkanovski. I thought there was something underground there, because I did find it kind of strange with some of the things that Adesanya said. So I could see there was something sort of under there that had gone off between them.
So it's
I'll tell you one thing, right? There's always going to be racism, and unfortunately, because there is just stupid motherfuckers on this planet who haven't got a fucking brain. At the end of the day, I take everybody at face fucking value. I don't care what colour you are or whatever. If you're a cunt, you're a cunt. And I'll call it exactly that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're an awesome guy, an awesome legend, and I'll call it here, you are absolutely awesome. I appreciate big time you being on my show, because you are an absolute fucking legend, man.
Thank you so much.
Love your show and everything, because you deserve to fucking go to the moon with it. Because
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Sport, and you're a brilliant fucking entertainer. So
salute to you, man. No, that means a lot, man. That means a lot coming from you. You know what I mean? We've always had good relationship. You know what I mean? When we go back and forth in the chat, we always have nice conversations, and it's a pleasure to be able to sit down and chop it up with you today, man. You know what I mean?
100%.
There's a lot. Salute.
Right, okay, mate. Take care of yourself. Take care of everybody in the chat and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you hit them likes and subscribes and all that fucking bollocks. I mean, I'm not bothered about any of that bollocks. You always say it, don't you, at the end of the day. Right, anyway, mate. And the last thing I'll say to you, Ola, is I'm really sorry that we beat you in the first game.
Oh, don't worry. That time will come. I will call you out on the watch along, man. You watch. I will be calling you out. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Later, my dude. Love you. Big love, man. Big love.
All right, my friend. All right, my brother. Yeah, man. Take care. Take care. Big love.